Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Bring up a little pad and pen and please send it around. Now let us again give a nice rousing welcome to His Holiness Bhakti Caitanya Swami.
Thank you very much. Thank you too much. Yes. And this is Professor, by the way, this is Professor Smita Krishna here, actually. I kid you not. It's true. Well, I'm really happy to be here in the house of Rishi and family, with the relatives, brothers and sisters. It's just great. And this is a wonderful facility here. It's just ideal. We could establish a temple here. ISKCON Unit 11. Why not? We used to, back in the, 80s, we had a house just on the main road that's coming up from the shopping centre, comes up. And to come here, we turned left and then came down. So we were renting a place just across the road from where this road here turns off, the main road. We were there for some years. I used to go every Monday, or at least every week, to visit our devotees who are staying there. So yeah, ISKCON Unit 11, chats. Yeah, it's great. And devotees and friends, I was asked actually to address a particular subject, which, if one really thinks about it, it's actually a very deep subject. It might even be a little too deep for some, who may not be so experienced with Krishna consciousness, but we'll try and keep it simple and to the point. The title is, Professor, what's the title? Okay. The person Bhagavat and the book Bhagavat. Right. And some of you might be sitting there thinking, I know what a person is, I know what a book is, but what's this Bhagavat? And that's a fair question. So anyway, we'll get into it a bit in a simple, I think, and straightforward way. It's a very interesting subject. So I'm going to read a couple of verses from the Bhagavat, the book Bhagavat. But first of all, devotees and friends, just repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So the book Bhagavat it's just a sort of, it's a term that can be used just in and of itself, but generally the book Bhagavat is a book which is called, the full name is Srimad Bhagavatam. Anyway, we'll explain these things as we go. But first of all, I'll read, I think it's going to be 3 verses from Srimad Bhagavatam, beginning with the first canto, chapter 2, which is titled, the chapter title is Divinity and Divine Service. And we'll begin by reading verse 16, and then we'll also read 17 and 18. They're like a package. They step by step develop, each one develops the message of the one before. Okay, so 16, verse 16. Shushrusho Shradadhanasya Vasudeva Kataruchi Syan Mahatsevaya Vipra Punyatirtha Nishevanat. And the translation there is, O twice born sages, by serving those devotees who are completely freed from all vice, great service is done. By such service, one gains affinity for hearing the messages of Vasudeva. So first of all, let me just explain very briefly what this verse is saying. The first point is, and it's a really important point, is that people want to get the mercy of God. Of course, there are atheists who don't really care about God, but, when things get difficult enough, even the atheists turn to God. There's a saying from, I think, either the First or Second World War, you never find an atheist in a foxhole. A foxhole means when a bomb has dropped and exploded on the ground, it makes a hole. That's a foxhole. So you never find an atheist in a foxhole on the battlefield where people are just shooting at you and, gosh, you could be finished in a second. So you never find an atheist in a place like that, even though a person may have professed atheism. But when the going gets tough enough, even the atheists become theists. So that's an important point, that generally people want the mercy of God, and therefore there's so many religions. Yes, there's so many religions, and they're just different ways of approaching the same person. And it's interesting. It's interesting that all those different religions with their books, the Quran, the Bible, we have Bhagavad Gita, we have the Bhagavata, Srimad Bhagavatam. They're all talking about the same person, but they're talking about the same person, God, in somewhat different ways. Somewhat different. Not too much different, but there are differences. And sometimes people wonder, how can that be? But the thing is this, when it comes to this, the fact that there are these different traditions, all apparently focused on the same person, God. So a way of understanding it or getting a kind of a perspective on it is that if you have a person, just anyone, let's talk about Rishi. Whoa, there he is. Yes, with his tilak on and his neck beads, he looks good. So Rishi, he knows many people. He has at work, he has his boss. And if you ask his boss, describe Rishi, I mean, not just the way he looks, but who is he as a person? The boss will describe in some way in relation to the work. I'm sure he'll say he's a good worker. He's really tops, and he's very punctual and on top of things. So that man can give a description. But then if you ask his son, Ravindra Swarup Prabhu, our singer, our lead singer, who's your father? Tell us about your father. He's going to describe him in a different way from the point of view that he's my father and he brought me up like this and that. And then if you ask Rishi's wife, tell us, about your husband, she's going to talk about him in different ways, bring out different points, how he's the father of the children and looking after the family and all that sort of thing. And if you ask Ananga Sundari, who's the daughter, she's going to describe him in a somewhat different way. Yeah. And if you and then some friends, he's got, brothers, right? And he's got sisters. And and they will describe him in somewhat different ways. And then he's got friends, and then it's probably unlikely, but maybe Rishi even has an enemy or two. Do you have any enemies? not really. Probably not. But if he did, they would describe him in a different way. We don't like him and for this and that. So if you get all these descriptions and read through them all, you probably think that all these different people are describing different people, but actually they're describing one person. So, to have different perspectives on the same person is not unusual, it's normal. So for people to have different perspectives on Krishna, on God, that's also, it's not surprising at all, because he's the biggest person. I mean, he's just someone extraordinary. Anyway, that's just kind of by the way. But what we were talking about, what we mentioned was that people want to get the mercy of God for different things. So how to do that? This is a very important question, because Krishna, God, he can give you such mercy if he really wants. Oh gosh. He can just do incredible things. And he's done just incredible things beyond what people even asked of him. But on the other side, if you get into his bad books, you could say, no, your life can become such an incredible mess, disaster. So Krishna, he's a person we should keep on the right side of. We shouldn't offend him. And be nuisances to him. But rather we should really try and understand how to get his mercy and then try and do it. So this verse here, this first verse I just read here, it's addressing this subject, but in a way that perhaps some of us wouldn't really expect or hadn't thought about. Let me just read the verse again. O twice-born sages, by serving those devotees who are completely freed from all vice, great service is done. By such service, one gains affinity for hearing the messages of Vasudev. Vasudev is a name of Krishna. Because Krishna, when he appeared in this world, he's God. He doesn't have parents. He's the father of all living beings. But when he appears, he accepts one couple as if they're his parents. And he interacts with them like that. So when Krishna was here, he appeared, or took birth, we say appeared, in the prison house of King Kamsa, but his father was Vasudev. I mean, on the surface apparently. His father was Vasudev, his mother was Devaki, and there's a tradition in India that in some cases, not all, but definitely in some, that when a boy is the son of some gentleman, then it is sometimes the practice to give the same name as the father, but changing it very slightly. So Krishna's father is Vasudev. Vasudev, a short A, Vasudev. And therefore his name in relation to his father is Vasudev, with a long A. Vasudev is the son of Vasudev. So here, Krishna, this is actually a devotee, Sutta Goswami speaking, but he's saying, what he's talking about is, what will Krishna, what will God give you if he really feels, he really wants to give you the best he's got? What's he going to give you? That's a good question, isn't it? Yeah, because a lot of people don't know what to ask God for, what they could get if they used their heads and really tried to get the best thing. A lot of people think that if God is merciful to me, he will give me some money, right? He'll give me a few million rands or something. Or if God is merciful, he'll give me a big house, big Lani house in Unit 11. Chats. Must be one of the... Anyway, it's okay. Yeah. This is a nice house. Better than the house we had up there. So, yeah. Or if Krishna, if God is merciful to me, he'll give me good health. That's also a popular one. He'll give me good health. But here, what is being said by this great sage, Sutta Goswami, is that if Krishna, God, is to give us the best thing that he feels he's got to give, he will give us an affinity, an attraction, an attachment for hearing about him and learning about him and coming to understand him. Who is God? What is my relationship with God? How to awaken relationship and develop my relationship with God. According to Krishna, this is the best thing he's got to give. Because, even if he gives you, say, 1 billion rands, for argument's sake, or 10 billion even rands, it's not really so much. When I first came to South Africa, that was January 1980, 1 rand was worth $1 and 33 cents. Now it's between 15 and 16 rands for $1. It means the rand is now worth, a 15th or even a 20th of what it was. And yeah, so even if you get a lot of money, it loses value. It loses value. And what can you get with it? You get a big Lani car, big Mercedes-Benz, one of the black ones, with the black windows. You know what I mean? But in a few years it starts falling to pieces. I remember actually some years ago in our temple just nearby, in Unit 5, one businessman, very nice, friend of our movement, very nice chap, invited us to his house for a program just like this. So, okay. He came to pick us up in his brand new BMW, the big one, the black one. No, but the big one. Yeah, what do they call it? The 7 Series, I think. So he came and we got in and it's new. You can kind of smell the newness. And we pulled out of the driveway on to just about to enter the actual road there, where the big car park is. And what came across in front, you know what came across? An old BMW, the big one, 7 Series. The old one, no kidding. And it stalled right in front of us, so we couldn't get onto the road. We had to get out and push him out of the way. And, you could see written on the face of our friend who's taking us to his house in his new one, you can see that he's understanding. My nice new BMW is going to be like this in a few years. So it's not such a big deal. That's why they call BMW. They say, BMW, what does it stand for? Big money wasted. So, yeah. But if we can develop our understanding of Krishna, of God, and develop our relationship with him in a real way, then we can go to the kingdom of God. And their life is eternal, full of bliss and full of knowledge. And there is no such thing as death. Because even you get big, like a palace, like Buckingham Palace, the Queen. She's 94 or 5 or something. Her husband just, passed away. They were living there. Her husband was living there. But he's not living there any longer. He's gone. And who knows where he's gone. Yeah, so you live in Buckingham Palace. But in due course, you'll be kicked out. Even you got some, like a Rolls Royce or 2 or 3 Rolls Royces. But in due course, they'll get old and start breaking down. And like this. And if you've got lots of money and people find out, then the criminals will come and try and steal it. And if they don't get it, then, the government will come and tax it from you. So these things, material assets, are not really so valuable. But what is valuable is if we can develop our relationship with the Lord through understanding him and understanding ourselves and what is our relationship. And that's what is said here, that we can gain an affinity for hearing about the Lord and therefore understanding him. And so how do we do that? And this is very interesting here. It says, by serving the devotees. By serving the devotees, one gains an affinity for hearing about the Lord. By serving the devotees. How could it be that by serving the devotees, helping them in this way and that you find now you're attracted to understanding the Lord? How could it be? Well, that's because when Krishna sees that you are serving his devotees and pleasing his devotees, who are very, very dear to him, then Krishna becomes pleased with you. And Krishna thinks, all right, what can I do for this person? That's how Krishna thinks. Yes, because he takes his devotees to be like his little children. And, many of you are parents, you know what it's like. You have little children, and you are very concerned about them. And if someone is nice to your children, then you feel that this is a good person. So Krishna's like that. When he sees that someone is trying to help his devotees, then it's okay. They don't make these plastic chairs like they used to. You know, when we were doing the tent campaign, and we did a tent campaign just up the road here, we used, from Bobby's, you know, Bobby's tent hire. She passed away, unfortunately. We used wooden chairs. And when we were going to have a havan, then, if we didn't have enough wood, we just throw a few chairs in, and Mrs. Bobby would just write it off. Theft. But anyway, this is a really important point, actually, that if we serve the devotees, if we serve those who are dear to Krishna, he appreciates us. And when he appreciates us, he'll do anything for his devotee. So in Mahabharata, Lord Krishna, there's one little incident where Duryodhana, he's one of the bad guys, he offends verbally, he insults Arjuna and Yudhisthira, who are friends of very dear cousins of Krishna. And Krishna gets angry with Duryodhana. You know, how can you speak about these people like this? Don't do it. And Duryodhana says, I've got nothing against you. I didn't criticize you at all. I just don't like them. And Krishna replied, any friend of Yudhisthira and Arjuna is a friend of mine. And any enemy of Yudhisthira and Arjuna is an enemy of mine. Krishna identifies with his devotees. So, and the devotees, the term is, a term which can be used, is Bhagavat. Devotees are sometimes called Bhagavats. Bhagavat means of God. Srimad Bhagavatam, the book, it means the beautiful story of God. And then there are the person Bhagavats, who are the people of God. Bhagavan. Bhagavan is God, and Bhagavat means of God. So it goes on. Let me just go to the next verse. That Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, who is the Paramatma, the super soul in everyone's heart, and the benefactor of the truthful devotee, cleanses desire for material enjoyment from the heart of the devotee, who has developed the urge to hear his messages, which are in themselves virtuous when properly heard and chanted. So the verse before we read, it said that if you please the devotees, if you serve the devotees, then Krishna will be merciful. He'll give you that understanding so you can approach him and develop your relationship with him. He'll give you the understanding. Here, this verse says that if you develop that understanding, then Krishna will cleanse your heart of material desire. You know, desire for all these material things. You know, we want a big television, you know, the 84-inch one, so we can watch Bollywood. Wow. Ecstasy. Aj K Anand Ki Jai, if you understand what that means. Today's bliss, Ki Jai. Yeah. So, yeah, Krishna, if you serve the devotees, he gives you an attachment for hearing about him. And when you develop that attachment for hearing about him by his mercy, he cleanses these material things from the heart: lust, anger, greed, envy, pride, arrogance, these things which disturb people so much. Yeah, so it's all his mercy. He cleanses the heart of the devotee who has developed an attraction for hearing about him by his mercy. And then the third verse, which is bringing us to the point: Nashta prayeshva bhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavat utama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtaki, which means by regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavat, the book, on the Bhagavatam, and by rendering service to the pure devotees, the person Bhagavats, as we just said. So these two things: serving the book Bhagavat by hearing it, listening to the lectures from it, and by serving the devotee Bhagavats, the devotees of God. It goes on, by doing those things, all that is troublesome to the heart is service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. So, this is very relevant to all of us. You're all good people. A number of you I know. And anyone who is a relative of Rishi is a good person in my book. Yeah. Because he's a good fellow. His children are good. His wife is good. Yeah. So, these two things. By hearing about the Lord from the book Bhagavat, and by serving the devotee Bhagavat, the devotee of God, then all these things which cause disturbance, the lust, the anger. Has anyone ever become happy by becoming angry? Gosh. Lust, anger, greed, envy, pride, arrogance. These are disturbing things within the heart, within our minds. So all these things are cleansed away when we do these two things. Listen to the recitations about the Lord and serve the Lord's devotees. So, the question can be raised, and the question was raised and has been raised many times. Which of the two is better? To serve the book Bhagavat by hearing it, by reading it, studying it, and understanding your relationship with the Lord? That, or serving the person Bhagavat? Which is better? I will not ask you for your answers, because someone may say, both. But Srila Prabhupada was asked this very question: which is better, to serve the book Bhagavat by studying it and absorbing its message, or serving the person Bhagavat? Which is better? Prabhupada was asked that question. And I'll tell you what his answer was, and it's a really important answer. His answer was that serving the person Bhagavat is more important. The person Bhagavat, who is living according to the book Bhagavat, is more important the person Bhagavata is more important than the book. Because the person Bhagavata gives instructions from the book and lives according to the book, so demonstrates in front of your eyes the message of the book. So Prabhupada said, yes, the person Bhagavata is more important because, Prabhupada said, the person Bhagavata can pull your ear. Can pull your ear. The book Bhagavata, even though it's really wonderful, it can't exactly pull your ear. If you read something in the book and you don't like it, you can always close the book and just put it back on the bookshelf, or you can throw the book away even, something like that. But the person Bhagavat, you can't just switch him off like that. The person Bhagavat may pursue you and keep on your case. Come on, don't do that, do the right thing. This is the person Bhagavat. So therefore it's a very interesting point. Think about it. In one sense, there's no real difference between the book Bhagavat and the person Bhagavat, because the person Bhagavat is just giving you the book Bhagavat, the instructions and understandings from the book Bhagavat. So there's no difference in that sense. But there's a difference in that the person can get on your case and really correct you and discuss with you and debate with you, these types of things. The person can do. The book cannot exactly do that, although it has all the information there. But it can't exactly sort of take you on. So therefore, in Krishna consciousness, for a person to accept a spiritual master who is a person Bhagavat, it's an essential part of Krishna consciousness, of the Vedic tradition. It's an essential part. To get a person Bhagavat who takes you under their care and knows you, who you are as a person, and understands who you are and what is good about you and what weaknesses you have. Because this all develops as a personal relationship develops. You get to understand the person. So to have a relationship with a person Bhagavat like that is just so valuable, it's essential. Otherwise, to try to do it yourself, spiritual life, buy the book in the shop and just go for it. Not that it's bad, but it's just not the same as having a person who knows all those things and knows you and is interested and concerned enough about you to get involved in your life and help you to develop your life in terms of the Bhagavat. I hope that's, understandable and not too sort of esoteric or complicated or something like that. But it's really the subject which we were asked to talk about, the book Bhagavat, the person Bhagavat. Yeah, essential parts of the life of anyone who's trying to develop their religion, really develop their religion, is to get the shelter of a person Bhagavat who can instruct you on the message of the book Bhagavat, of the Vedic literatures. And then you find your life becomes transformed completely, improved. Yeah, this is what happens. This is what happens when we become serious about Krishna consciousness, about following Dharma. Dharma ultimately meaning our relationship with God. So, okay, these are some thoughts. These are some thoughts on the subject. And now we got some questions, is it? You should, yeah. Okay.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Maharaj. I think you, as you mentioned at the beginning, it might be a complex topic, but you presented it to us for within our limited understanding. You made it very, very easy to follow. A question from somebody in the audience. Is it true that the battle of Kurukshetra and the Bhagavad Gita are separate?
In a word, no. How's that? Short and to the point. You know, I don't know if you've been. Have you been to Kurukshetra? Haven't been? I don't know if any of you have been to Kurukshetra. Kurukshetra is a place. It's actually a small city, or a big town, or a small city in North India. I've been there a few times, spent some days there. Jyotisa, the place where Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita, the place is still there. Yeah, so, you know, sometimes people who want to present themselves as being knowledgeable and like that, they try to interpret things which are in Scripture. And this is one of the things that they sometimes try to interpret. They try to say, some of them, I mean, not everyone, but some say that Kurukshetra does not mean like a place. Kurukshetra represents the body. And Arjuna is not, you know, this warrior who was meant to fight in the battle of Kurukshetra, but Arjuna is like us, confused about life, what to do. And so it's just sort of, what would you say, allegorical or something like that. But no, Kurukshetra is a place and it's still there 5,000 years later. So, yeah, and Kurukshetra, you know, you should see Kurukshetra, it's interesting. It's a big, flat area for kilometers. It's just flat. The ideal place for a battle. Yeah, it's flat. So, yeah, it's just somebody's speculation. They're trying to interpret Kurukshetra is something other than the place. And who was it? Oh, Bhagavad Gita is just, you know, a creation from another time and another place. How do they know? They were not there. They're not in a position to say. So no, we accept things which are coming in Scripture, as we say, as they are, as it is. Yatha rupam in Hindi. Yatha rupam means the form, the actual form, that form. So, yeah, it's a misunderstanding to think that, you know, there was the battle of Kurukshetra and Bhagavad Gita just was not there and it was just something else from a different place or a different time. It's just, you know, Bhagavad Gita is a historical account Krishna speaking to Arjuna on the actual battlefield, and Arjuna being perplexed, and Krishna sorting things out for him. Is that okay?
Thank you. Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you, Maharaj. There's a question when you were speaking about the accumulation of material property, wealth, etc. So there's a question. Krishna Maharaj, if I get a lot of money, I will use it for preaching. May I desire this? Please explain.
You may desire that. Yes. Everything belongs to God, so everything should be used in His service, not just in our service. Yeah. So material life, the difference between material life and spiritual life is that in material life, people are trying to get things and do things for themselves, for their own pleasure. Whereas spiritual life means we're trying to do things and use things for the pleasure of the Lord, who is the proprietor of everything. He owns everything. And He just lets us use certain things for some years while we're living. And then when we die, it's all repossessed. It goes back to Him. Yeah, so, just as an example, sometimes we give the example, a thief comes and steals your television. And now he's running down the road with the television, escaping. I mean, what's on TV these days is so bad. Maybe he's doing you a favor, actually, by stealing your TV. But anyway, still, it's your TV. And the police come and stop him. The police come and stop him and try and, take the TV back from him to return it to you. Now, if that thief then starts saying, hey, leave my television, that's not right, is it? Because it's not his, it's your television. So, yeah, there's this, when we think that things are ours, it's a mistake. It all belongs to Krishna. It all belongs to God. But now, it's sort of under our control for the time being, and so we think, it is mine. But it's sort of like misappropriation, that actually it belongs to Krishna. So, yeah, then to use whatever's available in the world for the pleasure of the Lord, that's spiritual life, that's Krishna consciousness, but not to just use things for ourselves and just improve our material comforts and all that.
Maharaj, there are two questions left. Hare Krishna, you mentioned devotees are sometimes called Bhagavat. Can it be considered as all devotees, or is it specific devotees? That's Bhagavat.
Okay. Well, not all Bhagavats. It can be applied broadly. It can be. Generally, it's applied to advanced devotees, but actually, ultimately, anyone who is a devotee can be called a Bhagavat. But just not all Bhagavats are equal. Different Bhagavats, different devotees are on different levels. But in the context that we read, it's using the term Bhagavat to refer to more elevated devotees. And that's the general use. But, at a push, you can apply it to anyone who's a devotee. Just some are lesser and some are greater.
Thank you, Maharaj. The last question. Maharaj, you mentioned the importance of a spiritual master. The internet or society is full of so-called spiritual teachers. How does the layman distinguish between such an array who are competing for his mind, and money?
dot, dot, dot. Yeah, and money. Well, you know, of course you have to be able to decide who's authentic. But how are you going to make that decision? The thing is, ultimately, well, two things. One thing is, ultimately, we have to take information from the book Bhagavata, actually. Because the person Bhagavat is the person who is living according to the book Bhagavat. So to understand if someone is living according to the book Bhagavat, you got to know something about the book Bhagavat. Otherwise you won't be able to decide. So that's why Prabhupada had us distribute books, millions and millions and millions of books, hundreds of millions, because, and just to everybody and anybody who's willing to take a book, because then the people have a chance of beginning to develop some. And then as they develop that understanding, then they'll be able to really guide me and help me in ways. Yeah, so, but then there's another factor, is that if someone is sincere, well, depending on sincerity, put it that way, how sincere they're. But if someone is really, Krishna within the heart will also help them to understand. Yeah. So these two things, studying the book, authentic books, and being sincere, studying in a mood of sincerity, then the person, by the grace of the Lord, is going to be able to understand that, you know, not this way, I must go that way. Yeah. I mean, this is sort of a subtlety, but Srila Prabhupada made the point that just in life in general, people get sick, and when you get sick, you need a doctor. How are you going to choose the doctor? There's so many, you know, now there's all sorts of Ayurvedic and herbal and crystals and gosh, and swinging a pendulum or looking at the tea leaves in the bottom of the cup of tea. You heard about that? Yeah, so how are you going to choose? So, but anyway, about a doctor, Prabhupada said, if you want to choose a doctor, and there are many doctors available, and you want to choose the best one, then ideally what you should do is look at the people who the different doctors are treating. And you'll see that some doctor, the sick people are going and they're coming out healthy. Then you know this is a good doctor. And in some cases, the sick people are coming and they're going out sick still. And then you know, no, we'll avoid this one. So, of course, one needs a little bit of understanding to start off with. That's why we said the books. We have to refer to the books. But the thing is that if you study the people who are following the different processes of religion, and you see that some people, they're following a particular process and they're becoming free from bad habits and all these negative things. They're becoming free of them, and they're really developing a sense of consciousness of God, and they're engaged in the service of the Lord. Then you know, well, this is good. This is a good process. But then in some other process, the people are remaining they've still got their bad habits. And they just have sort of clever, in inverted commas, clever excuses for why I am still addicted to whatever it is, some very material thing. Why I'm still addicted, but oh yes, I'm a very religious person. It's just a status symbol for them. So yeah, we have to be able to look at who is following the different processes and see who's becoming free from sinful life. Yeah. And see who's really engaging in the service of the Lord wholeheartedly. And that will help us to understand what path to follow. Theek hai. Sab kuch. Not kuch kuch hota hai. Okay, go ahead.
That was the last question.
Okay. No, at 6. We just got to leave at 5:30 in 15 minutes. Yeah, we can do it right now. I don't need to. I got to leave about 5:30.
Hare Krishna. So thank you very much to His Holiness Bhakti Caitanya Swami Maharaj. Let's please give him a nice round of applause. And we are also very, very appreciative of your attentive listening. When we're speaking about book Bhagavat now and the person Bhagavat, we are seeing the Maharaj epitomizes the person Bhagavat who's living the principles of the book Bhagavat, and hence is one of our great devotees in our movement from whom we can learn so much. So how many of you